I am Minix the Pirate, and I am practically perfect in every way. So yeah, the other day, someone asked me in my blog TV room, what's the worst thing you ever done? And it reminded me of a story. And I told that story in my blog TV, and I thought, well, I should probably share it with the rest of you now. I'm gonna go ahead and add a disclaimer to this. If you're offended by listening to someone take a dump on people in wheelchairs, do a 180 and don't look at the computer monitor, because that's exactly what I'm about to fucking do. The story actually starts before it starts. Back in 7th grade-ish. Back in middle school, I was one of those really weird kids who came to school, he didn't talk to anybody, he just sat there and did his work really fast, just so that when he got done finishing his work, he could sit there and do this all day and just fucking strengthen the shit out of his fucking thumbs. That way when I got home, I could just sit there and just on my fucking Game Boy and play me Pokemon. Do you like mudkips? Because I like mudkips. In middle school, I didn't have any friends. I didn't want friends. I was content being my little isolated, antisocial self, and I had no interest in talking to people. I had no interest in fucking girls. But then one day, a bunch of people from my classes decided they wanted to start talking to me. They wanted to tell me that this really creepy girl in one of my classes was crushing on me, which was kind of depressing, because she was ugly. And I wasn't about to date no ugly chick. When I was younger, I'd gotten it in my head that ugly people dated ugly people, and hot people dated hot people, and that's the way it was. So if an ugly girl was interested in me, that meant I was ugly, which of course was a devastating blow to my self-esteem. Part of the reason I didn't like hanging out with people, and it made me realize that I was never going to be with anybody in my entire life, because I had set myself extremely high standards, and there was no way in hell I wasn't going to date someone who wasn't a 9 or a fucking 10. Which was fine, of course, because I only dated hot girls in my mind anyway, which is where I was most of the time. I, of course, buried these memories deep down in my subconscious, and they didn't re-emerge until high school. High school actually started out pretty well for me. You see, I had actually started making friends and socializing, and about the time where I started thinking to myself, hey, maybe I can actually go out and get myself a girlfriend and be happy, along came Sarah. Sarah was a really, really creepy girl in a wheelchair. She was mentally retarded, she had glasses, really frizzy, fucked up hair, and her voice was just like so annoying. It was like Sarah Palin times 10 in hell. At first she was pretty harmless. She usually just hung out at my hangout areas, which I understood because I hung out with my friends in my hangout areas, and some of my friends had other friends that I didn't particularly like that were friends with this really creepy girl. So, you know, I didn't think too much of it. Until, of course, I found out she liked me, and then, I fucking lost it, man. She was so fucking weird, man. Like, she would write me really creepy love letters and shit that had terrible grammar. She would constantly stare at me with her fucked up, and it just drove me nuts. She even wrote poetry about me in her fucking English class. Everyone in school knew that she was, like, in love with my nuts, and everybody wanted me to go out with her. No. So the first thing I did was I had to start a rumor. I started a rumor that I was gay, just to get her to leave me alone. And believe it or not, that didn't work. It did not work. She was too retarded to know what gay meant. Like, then I decided I was going to change out all my hangout spots. I started hanging out at different places at lunch, and then she retaliated by memorizing my goddamn schedule. She was handicapped, so of course she got to leave class 10 minutes early, and you know what she spent that time doing? She wheeled her ass down to where I was, and she parked outside my class waiting for me to come out just so she could stare at me for 60 fucking seconds. She wouldn't talk to me. She wouldn't say a word to me. Every once in a while she would say, "Hi, Brandon." For the most part, she was a really shy girl, and she would get everybody else to try to get me to talk to her, to try to eat lunch with her, you know, and they kept asking me for my number and shit, and it was just fucking insane. And then, right before school ended, someone in my trailer park who knew my sister decided to give this girl Sarah, who was stalking me, my phone number. And then Sarah took my phone number and gave it to her friend in a wheelchair, who gave it to her ex-boyfriend who was blind, who would just harass me nonstop over summer vacation, calling my house, trying to just cram Jesus down my throat because I wouldn't accept Sarah for who she fucking was. And then I started having the fucking dreams. They were really, like, messed up dreams, but the worst part was I enjoyed having them, and I realized, like, what a fucking monster I was. Like, I'd have a dream where I, like, wheeled her into a shark tank. I'd had a dream where I, like, pushed her into a volcano. Like, yeah. That girl ruined my junior and senior year of high school. So if any of you have ever had a stalker before, I feel for you. I really, really do. God, I'm an asshole.